So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Another video today, and talking about the title, I'm pretty sure some of you have probably clicked on this because you're wondering why in the world will I sell such an expensive MacBook Pro to downgrade and go and get an iPad Pro. But I'm gonna break everything down to you and I'm gonna tell you exactly why I chose to do it. So let's go ahead and get into it. So one thing when it came to my YouTube channel was I never really spoke about my desk setup. I never spoke about anything around here, what makes it happen, what makes it all come together, because it's always constantly changing, whether it's the computer, whether it's a monitor, whether it's a keyboard, a mouse, whatever it may be, it's always changing. And if you know, like I know, desk setups are usually never final. They always change. So in the meantime, we already know the base of it all is going to be your computer. And I owned a 2019 model 16-inch MacBook Pro that was about $3,800. And the reason it was so expensive because it was one of the top dogs. I'm talking about it was spec'd pretty good. And when I bought that computer back in 2020, I just knew I wasn't going to need a computer for a very long time. I said, T, once you invest in this computer, you'll be able to keep this for a few years. You won't have to upgrade no time soon. This is going to be your computer for at least 5+ years. But you know, those devices, and I hate to say them because I love them, but then I hate them at the same time. Those M1 Max came out, and in the time that I was getting ready to purchase a 16-inch, everyone kept saying, T, just wait. Those M1s are going to come out and they're going to just blow the Intel ones out of the water. And me, I was thinking like, yo, this 16 is powerful. What can blow this thing out of the water? It literally does everything I need to do. Whatever file that I want to edit off of it, does it perfectly. But you know, I was wrong, and I thought wrong. And when the M1 came out, they absolutely obliterated the Intel machine. So I was like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm still going to keep it. But in my mind, I kept looking at resale value when it came to the Intel 16 inches. And I was checking eBay. I'm checking Swapper every other day, every few weeks. And I kept seeing the price slowly decline more and more and more. So I was like, you know what? Although this 16-inch MacBook does everything I needed to do, runs perfect, runs flawlessly, except the fans that sounds like a Delta or a plane on the runway getting ready to take off during departure. Once you get past that, the machine is absolutely amazing. But I was like, you know what? It's time to probably go ahead and sell this before you lose just too much money on this. And you're not going to be able to get anything that you put into it. You're already losing so much money as it is. So I was like, you know what? It's the perfect time to sell it. So I went ahead and sold it. And now I'm thinking M1. I'm thinking about what do I want to do with my desk setup when it came to an M1 device. Now, the whole purpose of getting that 16-inch MacBook Pro back in the day, instead of going with a Mac Mini or an iMac or something like that, was I wanted to be mobile. I wanted to move around. I wanted to edit in the living room. I wanted to edit in different places and not always be tethered to our desk. And we know how it is being tethered into our offices. That's the reason getting this 16-inch. But this time, the way I was thinking was, T, count how many times you actually moved the MacBook Pro off of your desk. How many times have you actually used it outside of the house? And I probably can count that many times on one hand. So I was like, you know what? I think this time around, I'm gonna go with the Mac Mini. Don't have to deal with any fans, don't have to deal with anything. It's small, clean, and it frees up more room on my desk since I now have my Xbox Series S up here. So I was like, you know what? Mac Mini it is. But before I hit that purchase button, I paused, stopped for a second, and was just like, if I get this Mac Mini, that means I'm gonna be right back tethered to my desk. But if I want to move around, I still want that portability. I still want that option to do things on the go. So I sat and thought about it one day and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go pick up an iPad Pro, 12.9-inch 2020. I know the iPad Air is like the iPad Pro killer, but I wanted the size, I wanted the ProMotion, I wanted the speakers, I wanted the Face ID. So that's the reason why I chose the 2020 iPad Pro. Here it is, 2020 iPad Pro. Absolutely love this thing. But the reason for picking this up now is because you already know when you go onto Apple's website, if you want any type of higher configuration in one device, you're gonna have to wait a couple of weeks. And when it came to that M1 Mac Mini, I knew for a fact I wanted the 16 gig version. The storage, I'll probably teeter around 512 and I'll do everything else externally. But you know, it's a waiting period. You have to wait for Apple to ship it. I think they're all built to order. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and take it back to old school Technically T. If you guys don't know what that is, when I first started my YouTube channel, I edited everything. I ran my whole channel off of an iPad Pro, the old school version of it, the first gen iPad Pro 12.9, before there was any such thing as iPad OS. So I know it was possible. I just didn't know with the other things that I do now with my computer and different things like that, if I'll be able to do it on the iPad Pro. And I'm here to tell you, I absolutely love this workflow. When I got it all up in here, I paired my MX keys, Logitech keyboard with it, with my MX Master. I bought this stand off of Amazon, just something plain and simple. Slapped the screen protector up there, picked up the Apple Pencil, and it has been flawless for my workflow when it came to the channel. Now, if you didn't see my last video where I did a video about my 2021 everyday carry items, that video was edited entirely, uploaded to YouTube, published on YouTube, and I created a thumbnail all on the iPad Pro. Of course, my editing is going to be on LumaFusion when it comes to video and Affinity when it comes to photo, and it's been perfect. And it's weird to say that I actually enjoy editing things and creating things more on the iPad Pro than I did on my MacBook. So fast forward to current day, here's where we are. I'm doing everything for the channel on my iPad Pro, on the iPad Pro, and I haven't even ordered my M1 Mac Mini yet. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are like, there's no way you can edit you can't do everything on the iPad. And that is true. There's different things like live streaming, the way I like to live stream using my camera and Elgato Cam Link 4K, different things like that. Of course, you can't do it on the iPad Pro. At least I don't think you can. If you can, please let me know down below. But eventually I am going to pick up an M1 Mac. That's just the nature of it. I still have to have a Mac just to do all of the other heavy lifting. But I'm gonna tell you what, for 99% of what I do, I can do everything on this iPad Pro and without a hitch. When I was editing that video, when I was creating that thumbnail, all of that was legit flawless. It didn't aggravate me anything along the process. It actually got it done. And I don't realize how key that mouse support and keyboard support was. It just blew my mind when I got it all hooked up. And I haven't even taken this and hooked it up to my monitor yet because my USB-C port is funky on this thing. I don't really know what's going on, but I haven't even utilized that part of it yet. And that just shows you the power of the iPad Pro. So right now, I'm rolling with the iPad Pro for a good little while. I'm not even in a rush to go out there and purchase the Mac Mini because I want to see how much I can really do on the iPad Pro. So if this is something that you're interested in, and I'm definitely going to create a few videos surrounding this whole workflow and all of the items that I use to transfer my files to from my computer, you know, to the camera, everything like that. I'll probably make a separate video about that, but I just kind of wanted to make this video to let you know that your boy got rid of that expensive MacBook Pro and went and picked up this iPad Pro, and I'm loving it. So if there's any future videos that you want to see regarding this whole workflow, trust me, I will come out with a workflow video that shows you everything that I do. But if you want to see it, if you're thinking about picking up an iPad Pro, if you just can't afford the Mac that you really want, you can go pick up an iPad and make it happen. You can even do this with an Air. This is just a Pro. This is overkill. You can go with the lesser iPad Air 4th gen, I think it's the 4th gen, and do just about everything that I'm doing on the Pro on the Air. So let me know in the comment section if you've done this, if you're running your channel through a straight iPad. I definitely want to know everyone's experiences out there, man. But you already know what to do. Hit that like button, man. It helps the video out a ton. Definitely get into some more videos where we're talking about my iPad workflow and everything like that. So if you're interested in that, make sure you hit that sub button. But until next time, everyone, please be safe. Catch you on the next one. Later.